My name is Jenny Minnick. I'm a community engagement librarian at Porte County Public Library. I'm inviting you today on a virtual field trip into my dairy goat barn to learn a little bit more about dairy goats. You know, we're all staying at home during this time and staying safe, but we want to continue engaging with you and continue sharing things with you. So I hope you'll come along and learn a little bit more about dairy goats today. Hi, these are our 2-week-old baby goats. They were born exactly a week ago. They are both bucks, which means they are boy goats. Their breed is LaMancha, which is actually the only breed of dairy goat that's native to North America. So this one right here, sucking on my finger, the black and white guy, this one's named Billy. And then this little guy over here is his twin brother, sort of the buff colored one, and his name is Willie. So when baby goats are first born, and I'll introduce you to their mom, her name's Golden, in just a little bit. When they're first born, they need to eat about every 2 to 4 hours. So when these guys were first born, they lived in our house in little totes for the first couple days because when they need to eat so often, it's a little easier to keep them fed. So we feed them their mama's milk. We milk their mama and then we put it in a bottle and we feed these guys with it. And so when they're first born, they eat about 4 ounces every 2 to 4 hours, a little less at first, and then they start to eat a little bit more. So right now, these guys are up to eating about 6 ounces every 4 hours. So that's all they eat. You see, we do keep hay in front of them over here. Goats are ruminants, so it's really important for them to have hay in their diet. They're not eating it yet, but we just keep it there so that when they're ready to eat it, it'll be available to them. You can also see that we have bedding down here for them. We've got a mixture of straw and sawdust down. That's a good way to protect them. It keeps them warm and it cushions the concrete ground in here. You can also see that we have a heat lamp up there. It still gets pretty chilly at night, so that keeps Billy and Willie warm. All right, so this is Golden. Golden Girl is Billy and Willie's mom. She'll probably hop up here on the fence pretty soon here. So we said that Billy and Willie were bucklings, which means that they are baby boys. So their mama here, she's what we call a doe, which means that she's a female goat. So Golden Girl is 3 years old. Billy and Willie are the second time that she freshened. When we talk about dairy goats freshening, we mean when they've had a baby. So last year she also gave birth to a little buckling named Mike. So this year she had Billy and Willie. And something that people really notice about LaManchas is their ears. They have very distinctive ears. So their ears are small, and these are called gopher ears. So sometimes people ask if we've done anything to alter their ears, but this is just how their ears are when they are born. So I said earlier that these goats are dairy goats. When we talk about dairy animals, we mean that these animals are bred primarily to produce milk. So after the mama has babies, that's when she starts producing milk. And then we milk her twice a day. So right now, Golden Girl is getting milked at 8 a.m. and 8 p.m. And then we take her milk and we put it in bottles and we feed it to her babies. We also feed all of our cats goat milk because we have some extra milk. Over here in this pen next to Golden Girl, this is Bambi. Bambi also gave birth recently, and Bambi is a Saanen breed. So you'll notice how Bambi has those nice, tall, erect ears, and then how the difference there with Golden Girl's gopher ears. So, all right, it's perfect. It's like Bambi and Golden Girl are both posing for us right now. So next I wanted to talk to you about how we care for adult goats, because I talked to you a little bit earlier about how we took care of Billy and Willie and the things that they eat and the kind of bedding that we provide. So for our mamas who are milking, they have a different diet. They need different nutrition than goats that aren't milking. So for these two ladies right now that are in milk, we always keep fresh water in front of our goats. No matter what time of year, no matter what's going on, they always have access to fresh, clean water. The other thing we always keep in front of our goats is hay. So this is alfalfa hay. It's nice and leafy. I said earlier that goats are ruminants, which means they chew a cud, which means they always need access to that nice leafy hay to chew. And it's like Golden's like playing right along. She's doing that. So the other thing that they eat is a mixture of grain. When they are milking, we only feed them grain when they're on the milking stand. So twice a day when they're getting milked, they have access to that grain. And I'll show you their milking stand in just a little bit. The other thing about their pens right now, they're sort of in their kidding pens still, which are these smaller pens. Isn't she sweet? So if you can see on the bottom of their pens here, there is some hay that's spilled, but primarily we keep a mixture of straw and sawdust in their pens. And then every few weeks we clean that to the ground and put in fresh hay, or I'm sorry, fresh straw and fresh sawdust to keep them nice and comfortable because, you know, we need to keep it dry for them for their hooves. So the other thing we do to take care of these girls is we keep their hooves trimmed. So goat hooves grow out kind of long, and so it's important for their posture that they stay nice, their feet stay nice and flat, so that they don't have other problems with getting around. So this is Bambi, and this is Golden Girl, and thanks for learning a little bit more about dairy goats. I'm going to show you some of the equipment that we use in our next segment. All right, so I told you I would show you some of the equipment we use to take care of our dairy goats. So right now, Golden Girl is on a milking stand that my husband and kids built. It holds her head in. She's got grain to eat while she gets milked. Her food in there is a mixture of the Purina goat feed and wheat pulp. There's a little bump out on the milking stand, so whoever's milking her can sit there and hand milk her. Right now we only have 2 goats in milk, so we're milking them both by hand. You can also see back here we have a milking machine and some bleach next to it because we clean it with bleach each time after we use it. We probably won't start using the machine again until we have a few more goats in milk because it goes pretty quickly to hand milk just 2 goats. Some of the other equipment I wanted to show you over here. On the side here, these are teat wipes. They are sanitizing wipes we use to clean the udder before she gets milked, before each goat gets milked every time. These are the shears that we use to trim the goat hooves. That's very important. And then another tool that's important that we use, these are little testing strips that we use to test her milk. Especially right after a mama has babies, it's important to make sure that there's no infection there. So you just squirt a little bit of milk on these little sheets, and if it stays that orangey color, then her milk is good and she doesn't have an infection. And if it turns that blue color, we know that she needs some antibiotics and we need to call the vet. So those are some things, some of the tools that we use to keep our goats healthy and safe. All right, so I also wanted to tell you a little bit about the life cycle of goats. So we met Billy and Willie, and they were born about a week ago at the end of March. So these mamas, Bambi and Golden, they were both bred last fall. So the gestation period of goats is about 5 months. That means how long the babies are in the mommy's tummy is about 5 months before they're born. So after these guys are born, they grow up, and then the baby does can become mamas in about a year. We call them yearlings, and they can have a baby when they're 1 year old, when they're a goat. All right, while you're at home, we just want to remind you that we have lots of ebooks and videos and all kinds of online content from the public library that you can view without leaving your home. So I'm going to link in the comments some books that you can read. There's a really great one about dairy farms on our BookFlix account that's about cow dairy. So I'm going to link that below if you want to learn a little bit more about dairies. Check that out.